I have been believing the right things all my life, but I am not still getting the right results I should be getting.
Every food you eat, your body breaks it down to protein, carbohydrate, and all that. That happens without your consciousness. It happens on its own.
Okay.
Every second, your body makes 10 million cells.
Okay. When you were making those illustrations, you talked about the conscious and the subconscious mind. And you said that the conscious mind takes 10%
Of the brain.
And the subconscious takes the
90%. Yeah.
Now, I'll be right to say that we should be mindful of the thoughts that go into our conscious mind.
True.
Okay. Now, take an individual for an example. I mean, you've been monitoring the kind of thoughts that go into your conscious mind. You've been, you've heard people say that, oh, believe it, you can achieve it, you can do all of that. Okay, think about this. When you think about this, you become it, and all of those things. But and sometimes I wonder, like, see, I have been thinking all my life,
but I'm not seeing anything.
I have been believing the right things all my life, but I am not still getting the right results I should be getting. What do you think is the issue, and how can we tackle this challenge?
Well, that's another very good question.
Thank you.
I will say it this way. For the fact that, like I said earlier, I'm not aware about a point or a fact, does not exonerate me, nor immune me from the consequence of that thing.
That's right.
Jumping from a 10-story building without awareness of the law of gravity, I can't change my mind at the 5th floor. Law of gravity takes its toll on me. Motivational speakers tell you, get positive, say positive things. But if you're saying positive things and your mind doesn't believe it, your action is not congruent with your self-talk, your morning routine and meditations, you won't have any result. If at all you will, it's going to be very slow. So what we advise people is this. Whatever it is you're saying, believe it. I don't know if you've experienced it. Maybe this happens more to children. When you ask a child, did you take it? No. You know, the word the child is saying,
Contrasting opinions, yeah.
contradicts what, the gesture. So there is a contradiction somewhere. And somehow, as adults, we also do the same. Do you believe you can make it? Well, I think I can. As in, I think I can. Such a person, if at all he or she will, is going to take a longer time. So how you can do this? The brain has 100 billion cells. Yeah, but recent research shows it's less than 100 billion.
Okay.
Now, have you ever seen a negative child before?
No.
We are born clean, without any form of negativity, positivity, or whatever behavior whatsoever.
Okay.
But then as we're born, a child cries out and gets the attention of the mother and everybody around. So the child learns from, when I cry, I get attention, I get food. All right? So the child forms that kind of a connection in the nerve in the brain that when you cry, you get attention. At 3 years old, the child tries to cry again to get something. You notice the mother will spank her. You don't have to cry to get everything. Talk if you want something. So we're trying to unwrite and unwire that thing. Now, new experience, new exposure causes new nerve connection, according to neuroscience, in the brain. Now, when that connection is repeated over and over, you strengthen that connection. If it continues for 3 days, for 3 weeks, for 3 months, addiction sets in. The longer the repetition, the firmer the connection. So one who has been thinking negative thoughts, who says negative things for 23 years, for example, and watches this video and says, I want to change. Okay, I'll begin to say positive things every morning. And after 1 week, he still feels down when something bad happens. Don't expect that what you have wired for 23 years, you could just change in 1 week. It's going to take practice, consistency, and intensity. Yeah. So it has to be very, very intense for you to unwire and unwrite that thing that you've wired already in your brain. So you have to understand, back to the question, that you need to be consistent. Whatever it is you're saying, ensure you believe it in your mind, that there's congruence between what you're saying, what you believe in your mind, what you're thinking about. Once the three align, in no distant time at all, depending on the intensity, like I said, and how long you can hold your positive thoughts, you will get to see the realization of your desire.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Now, when you started answering this question, you mentioned self-talks, and I immediately grabbed it. Because yes, they tell us, when you wake up in the morning, get in front of the mirror and say to yourself, I am great, I am beautiful, I am handsome today, and all of those things.
Sure.
But you discover that as you go on in the course of the day, even with the fact that you've said all of these positive things in the morning, during the day, somehow, the negative thoughts still try to filter in your mind. Not like you did not believe what you said earlier in the day, but maybe because, because we're not just conscious of it, like you said. Now, how effective are self-talks? Number one. Now, number two, how do we bring ourselves to this constant consciousness that, okay, you know what, this is what I said to myself this morning, and that is what I want to go through for the whole day?
Okay, that's another good question.
Yeah.
Les Brown said, when you do the easy thing now, your life will be hard. But when you do, or if you do the hard thing now, your life will be easy.
Okay.
What that simply means is, it's going to be war. What you've been doing over time, and you just want to change, it's not rocket science. It won't just happen overnight. It's going to be serious war. You have to be present and conscious about your thoughts. Straight to the question, how you can do this. In the morning, I have been doing this research over a period of time now, researching the world's wealthiest people, great politicians, businessmen and CEOs, philosophers, psychologists, people of renown, great people, pastors, religious people. I have been doing certain research about these people, what time they wake, how they wake, what they do first. It's so amazing to discover that people who are not even from the same field, from the same career line, from the same religious background, that these guys do the same thing every morning. And that is what? In the morning when you wake, number one, try to think about one or two or three things you want to be genuinely grateful for. Just think about one or two or three things you want to be genuinely grateful for. Not what you wish you had, but something you need to think about it. Find something you are genuinely grateful for. And once you can come up with that, think about it, get emotion about it, feel it.
Okay.
You're actually grateful about it. It gives you an elevated state. Now that's one. Number two, try to think through your day. How do I want my day to go like? Who do I want to present to the world today? What am I anticipating and expecting today?
Okay.
These things work. They are principles. Principles are universal.
Okay.
They are timeless. They are self-evident. You may not understand how they work, the intricacies. Just obey them and you find the result. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what is imagined
And what?
and what is real. Why? Our thoughts alone can trigger disease. Oh, in fact, it is said that over 70% of the disease we have in the world are generated by thoughts alone.
Wow.
They have their source
Wow.
from thoughts.
Wow.
Oh, yes.